What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be rating a UU team by Cacturn, and currently his team consists of Mega Aerodactyl, Heracross, Vaporeon, Gligar, Rotom Heat, and Snorlax. Now, there's a couple of things I noticed right off the bat with this team, and the first one being the lack of Stealth Rocks on this team, which is really not ideal for what looks to be like a semi-stall kind of build. You know, he has the Curslax right here, he has the Gligar, and he has the Wish-Passing Vaporeon. And he's out of glaring weakness to Water-type attacks, especially after Vaporeon goes down. And I mean, he said it himself, I think Rotom Heat is probably the most expendable member on his team because he's not enough for fire attacks. He has Vaporeon, he has Thick Fat Snorlax, which can take any hit from most fire-type attackers in the tier, and Aerodactyl already checks most of the fire types in the tier. And the suggestion I'm about to make also resists fire, and the suggestion is Hydreigon. You do lose the flying resist, however, looking at the most powerful flying type attacks in the tier, which are Crobat and Mega Pidgeot, Gligar already takes anything that Crobat wants to throw at it. And as far as Mega Pidgeot goes, Mega Aerodactyl is a really hard offensive check to it since it resists both Hurricane and Heat Wave, and it has Recovery and Roost. And since your Vaporeon is also especially defensive, it can probably also take any hits that Mega Pidgeot wants to throw at it. And the reason I'm recommending Hydreigon over Rotom Heat is that it helps you against opposing stall and semi-stall a lot. And it pairs very well with Snorlax and Heracross because Heracross can eliminate special walls like Blissey for Hydreigon. And Hydreigon in turn eliminates physical walls for Snorlax and also ghost types, which completely wall your Snorlax set. And it's another Pokemon with reliable recovery and Roost to offset the Life Orb damage. And the next problem that I have with your team is just the lack of Stealth Rocks. It's really not optimal for this kind of team, and I can't really seem to fit it onto Gligar anywhere without just weakening the set as a whole. And also, if you choose to heed my suggestion of Hydreigon over Rotom Heat, you don't really have a lot for Fairy types that can be really annoying to this team. And really, I just think that Gligar is a bit too passive for this kind of team. So I'm going to suggest defensive Nidoqueen over Gligar. With Nidoqueen over Gligar, you'll still be checking the most prominent physical attackers in UU, especially fighting types. You'll get Stealth Rocks, and you'll get more offensive presence with Sheer Force boosted Earth powers, Sludge Bomb for fairies, and even Ice Beam or Fire Blast to really blast through physical walls that are blocking Snorlax from sweeping. And it'll also make the most out of your Wish-Passing Vaporeon because, honestly, as the team is right now, there's no reason to use Vaporeon over Suicune on this team, just because most of your walls have reliable recovery. However, with Nidoqueen over Gligar, you do lose Defog. However, you can just put that on Mega Aerodactyl over Aquatail, since you do have the any ground types covered with Vaporeon alone, and also Hydreigon, which is also immune to ground. So Defog over Aquatail on Mega Aerodactyl to make it more of an offensive support Pokemon is definitely not a bad idea for this kind of team. So overall, this team wasn't poorly built at all. However, the lack of Stealth Rocks really kind of put me off a little bit, and Rotom Heat seemed like a wasted slot, so I'm going to give this team a 6 out of 10. However, with the changes I've made, you'll definitely be getting the most out of your late game win condition, which is Snorlax, and your Wish Passer in Vaporeon. And as always, the importable of the team is going to be in the description below. If you like this video or want your team rated, go ahead and like this video and don't be afraid to subscribe.